Michael, Yes campaign, let's get back into the Voice. It kicked off their big advertising blitz. I can see there's a level of panic already because their numbers are starting to slide. You would want to, and you know, I've done a bit of politics in my previous life, you'd want to be further ahead where they are now, given we're likely to go to a vote in about October. Nonetheless, a lot more money for the Yes campaign than the No campaign. We know advertising works. What's your sense of things?
Well, I suspect the No campaign's in the ascendancy. I think the No campaign will win on this trajectory. I'm pretty confident in that, and I know the polling doesn't suggest that, but as you say, history's often a pretty good guide. And I caveat all of this by saying I think the fundamentals of the Australian society are shifting a little here, so maybe the past isn't always the truest guide to where we are or the future. But with that established, I think if the Yes campaign is polling in the low 50s overall now, and the official No campaign has only really just started up, the Yes campaign have had a rails run in the media and everywhere else, and they've only just got 50%. I think they're in a lot of trouble. And look, I can conceivably see, because you need the double majority. Some people forget this. You're going to need the double majority to carry this one.
Right. You're right.
I suspect, Victoria might go 60-40 yes. But if something like, say, Queensland, New South Wales, Tasmania and, heaven forbid, Mark McGowan's WA split 49-51 in favour of No, you can conceivably have a majority of voters but not the majority of states, and this thing goes down. And I suspect that might be where we're headed. The key will be watch where the money goes. There's a lot of Yes money, there's not a lot of No money, but wherever it does fall in the coming months, that'll be the battleground states. I don't think Queensland's going to get too hard. I think that's in the No camp. I don't think Victoria's going to get belted up too hard with ads. That's in the Yes camp. It'll be split everywhere else.
Yeah, it will be, and I think WA is one to watch. And of course, Caroline, you got into that today with the story involving Tony Abbott and Mark McGowan. What can you tell us?
Well, this is really interesting, Peter. So the former Prime Minister, Tony Abbott, has thrown his weight behind this petition that has been launched in WA to get the Premier, Mark McGowan, to release his advice that he's received that has informed his very enthusiastic support for The Voice. He's committed to it. He's been campaigning on encouraging people to vote yes for it, warning people about any advice to the latter being scaremongering. But he was asked twice in Parliament recently there to release any briefing note that he's received about The Voice, and he refused to directly answer the question. He just keeps evading it. So a member of the upper house in the WA Parliament, Nick Goyron, has put this petition forward. It's already got thousands of signatures, making it the most popular current petition on the parliamentary website, to try and demand that Mark McGowan release that advice within 2 weeks of this petition being tabled in Parliament when the Parliament next sits in a fortnight. If he doesn't release it, it will go to a standing committee which will look into this issue further. So we might very well see more legal advice that he's seen. But Tony Abbott came out today and said he wants every Premier to release the advice that they've received on this issue. And he says, as a former Prime Minister, this is something that every Premier would have got specific legal advice from on this issue. So
Absolutely
there's no
right.
doubt he would have it. It's why isn't he being transparent? And Mark McGowan has said that he wants a gold standard of transparency for his government. So why the silence on this issue? And I went to him today for a response, and again, did not acknowledge the briefing note or the advice he received. He simply said a certain amount of information has already been released by the Commonwealth about that. But as we know, that hasn't even been the full advice in the case of the Solicitor General's advice either.
I can confirm that the state premiers would all have legal advice, Carolyn, and the fact that it's not out there tells you everything. And I agree with the point, I think, Michael, you made it. WA will be key, and that's why I think McGowan's being pushed so hard. Thank you both, Carolyn Marcus. Thank you. Michael McLaren there.